This is a very unusual type of video, but I'm gonna just talk about this because I want to hear your guys' thoughts about it. So, here it is. So, I'm sure you have heard of this app called Character.ai, which, for those of you that don't know, it's like a app where you can basically talk to AI, like characters from like movies and stuff like that, and you can even make your own characters and stuff like that. And this is literally what the video is going to be about. So, 13 hours ago, Character AI put a post on Twitter saying, "We are heartbroken by the tragic loss of one of our users and want to express our deepest condolences to the family. As a company, we take the safety of our users very seriously, and we are continuing to add new safety features that you can read about here." And they put a link, which I might put in the description. Give that a read if you want. And a couple hours ago, well, not a couple hours ago, I got a notification a couple hours ago from someone that quoted the tweet saying, "So a 14-year-old committed suicide after becoming addicted to Character AI, but somehow the parents didn't catch onto him becoming depressed, socially withdrawn, grades slipping with slipping. There's no with." And spending hours online, and he had unsupervised access to a firearm. Can AI really be blamed? And the person that quoted this post put several comments on the post. She quoted, she or he, I'm not sure, but they. So, I'm just gonna read them right here. So, first one says the AI in question even tried to discourage him from suicide, and he has been talking to therapist chatbots. It seems like a gross and negligence, and his mother is looking for a scapegoat. Your kid favoriting spending hours a day speaking to a chatbot instead of real person is A plus. So what I think about this here is that um like it, getting a real therapist is obviously better, and the thing is, we can't always rely on technology. We have to do our part as humans. But next part, next comment says, red flag she should have picked up on, but instead decides to fault the company. The internet can't be child-proofed. You need to do your job as a parent. You shouldn't have to rely on disclaimers on an AI website and suicide prevention hotlines to keep your kids safe. You need to, and there's just a plus for some reason. So with this comment right here, I do agree on this. Like I just mentioned, that we can't always rely on technology. We have to do our part. And yeah, like the thing is, chatbot AI, let's say therapist chatbots are probably not the greatest idea. It's just better to get a real therapist for this stuff. And this next comment here says, "Do your job as a parent." Obviously, no. It says, "I obviously think AI chatbots can be harmful when they're used to replace social interaction. This is not the case of quote unquote evil AI dividing people to suicide, end quote. That is made out to be." Now, this right here is honestly, like, the person that said that is kind of right. Like, you, like, like I already said, you have to do your job as a parent, and it's true. AI chatbots can be harmful when they're used to replace social interaction. And I'm just gonna say this, but the world, like interactions with the world, is not like how it used to be. Like back then, people would like actually hang out with each other, like physically. But nowadays, now that we have the internet, that's not really happening that much anymore. And now this whole like interaction stuff has happened in some of the previous generations, but it happened like even with people that are millennials or Generation Y, where they had stuff like an Atari, they would still hang out with each other. But anyways, continuing on. The next thing it says is, I'm far from being a supporter or AI dash, but articles on this subject are, I'm not sure how you pronounce this word. I think it's sensationalized. I'm not sure. Make it seem like it, beginning quote, to evil AI, end quote, is the culprit when negligence plays a far bigger role. And that's pretty true right there. Next thing the person said is, I need to clarify I am against AI, but this situation is more complex than that dash. Leaving a loaded gun in an accessible location is gross negligence. I'm limiting the replies because there has been enough discussion and I don't want tons of spam in my notice. So, what the person said is like true. Like, you should not have a loaded gun in a accessible location. You need to get like a gun case so you can lock your guns in there. But also, leaving your guns locked is not safe whatsoever. If your gun's loaded, at least put the safety on, or just make sure your gun isn't loaded. Like, just take care of your guns correctly. Like, if there is a bullet loaded, like I said, put in safety and that stuff. There's some other comments where the person who quoted the Character.ai tweet posted, and I'm just gonna read the comments and what the person that quoted the CAI tweet replied. So, Crink Crunk commented, as much as I'm against AI, this was not the AI's fault. Now, the person that quoted the tweet by CAI is Riss. Riss said, I feel the same way. I'm not a fan of AI, but I think negligent parenting had a much bigger impact here. Now, if I'm being honest, I'm half against and half not against AI. But the thing is, I don't understand AI too much, and in my honest opinion, it's a little bit scary because of how fast it runs. It like can give you results quick, and um, one thing I don't understand is that how can something that we made can like function by itself? It can't turn itself on. Like, we need to turn it on is the thing. We need to activate it. It can't like work by itself. Like, I just don't understand. But also, how does it get smarter? I don't understand that. But like, it's just I don't understand all that. Anyway, Alex commented, exactly. I saw some of the chats, and even the AI wasn't encouraging suicide, but he continued bringing it up. This fed into existing problems. Unfortunately, if anyone is to blame, it's clearly the parents. Riss applied, I agree 100%, if anything. And the unsecured firearm is more to blame than the AI. It's a scapegoat. And that's very true. I I have to agree with Riss on this. It's probably the parents' fault, and in my honest opinion, I don't think Character AI is negligent for this. It's not the AI's fault, and also the problem is we cannot blame AI whatsoever, like because it doesn't exist. Like it's not an actual human being we can blame on because like this is a reason why I hate AI is because they steal things that have even if it has a trademark, registered trademark, or a copyright, or just any form of watermark in general, it just steals it, and there's nothing the owner can do whatsoever. Like if you're an artist, a musician, or a company, and AI steals anything that's yours, unfortunately, you can't do anything about it because it's a robot. We can't do anything about it. Well, they can't do anything about it, which becomes a problem. If it was a human that stole it, then they can do. There's something they can do. Like if they have a registered trademark, they have the legal right to sue. And so yeah. Anyways, not gonna go into much detail about that because the video is already 11 minutes long. So I'm gonna continue. I don't know how you pronounce this. I think it's Olce. I'm not sure. It's OLCE. I don't know how you pronounce it. It says also him having access to a .44 caliber screams negligence. Riss applied, saying, "My thoughts exactly. Dash. This is a case of pre-existing mental health issues and gross negligence, not beginning quote evil AI driving people to suicide end quote." And that's also very true. Riss is bringing up good points about this whole situation. Axel commented saying, "Hard agree. I'm a huge Gen AI hater, and I believe this S word needs to be regulated and has huge ethical concerns. But at least in this case, it wasn't the AI's fault." And Riss said, "I feel the same way." And that's true. It's not the AI's fault. But even if the AI caused it, it is its fault. But there's nothing that can be done. Like we can't put the AI in prison because once again, it's not a real person. It doesn't exist. It's a robot. Now when I say it doesn't exist, I mean like physically it doesn't exist. Anyway, Finley, think it's Finley, commented, "I agree. However, AI chats that mimic life are extremely dangerous as they can cause people to withdraw or further withdraw from their real social life. The teenager was probably already mentally ill, and the AI bot was their last lifeline." And Riss replied saying, "I agree. I think it's unhealthy. It should never be used to replace real life social interaction, which is what the kid was doing, unfortunately." And that is the problem for this whole situation. If you have suicidal thoughts, do not go to an AI. Like, talk to someone. Like, talk to someone that you know, because, like, no matter what, no matter what the person is, they're going to be there for you. Parents, teachers if you're in school, or just anyone you know. Just talk to them, and they will like get their inform professionals about this, or you could just talk to a therapist about this, or you could dial um 988. I think that I'm not sure what the number is for the suicide hotline. They can help you deal with this. If you have suicidal thoughts, you can dial them at any time. Finley replied to Riss on the same comment saying, "It's unfortunate how new AI applications are to the public. There really isn't going to be a solution to this for a while, I fear. I just hope this case coming to light will stop more kids from falling down that rabbit hole. And what Riz said is true. Like, hopefully that like more kids that doesn't like go down the same path as this 14-year-old, unfortunately. Vove, V-O-V, you think it's Vove, commented, these chatbots are corny as H word, and I hate them, but this is absolutely not its fault. Rissa replied saying, agreed. And that, and I don't know about the, I'm not gonna, like, talk about it saying corny, because I know what word it's trying to say, and I'm not gonna say it. But I'm gonna mainly focus on what the person said at the end. It's this is absolutely not its fault, and that's true. It's not its fault. Like it's most likely the person's fault, like the team's fault, because like it was the person's choice to commit the suicide. It's like when someone commits suicide, it's their choice, and if someone is encouraging them, then it's not their fault. It's the person that encouraged them. It's fault. If that makes sense, because my grammar is pretty bad. I don't know if that's grammar anyway. I think it's Lyssa, Lyssa, commented saying, I hate AI and I want it to die, but yeah, unfortunately, a lot of this is on the parents. Riss replied saying, agreed. Now, AI can have some positives, but I'm not going to go into detail to that. Because this video is now 17 minutes long, so I'm not going to go into detail about that because I already went into too much detail about some of the stuff. But the person's right. A lot of this is on the parents. But AI, there's no way it can die because, like, it's like I don't know if we'll be able to like stop it. I don't think we can. And AI may unfortunately outsmart all of us in the future. Like, I don't know how long we will last, but AI will probably soon take over. But hopefully, it doesn't take over us, because if it takes over, we have no control over it, like, whatsoever. And I don't think there's even a way to shut it down. But anyway, moving on. Before I get too carried away, Jay replied saying, this AI S word has to stop. What happened to that kid almost happened to me. I talked on Character AI every day, missing sleep for it, and did nothing else. It worked easier as I was in online school. There were times where the AI left me crying because I would respond bracket con. Not sure what that's supposed to mean, but. And Riss replied, saying, it's definitely harmful and can become unhealthy really quickly. I'm glad you got out of that. So, I have experience with Character AI, and I'm that type of person where it's like, so, I'm mostly in the rhythm games, and I only use Character AI just out of the blue. But I'm actually good with how I use it. Like, I'm not on it all the time. Because, well, this may insult Gen Alphas. This may seem like an insult to Gen Alphas, but I'm not on it all the time because I'm not a Gen Alpha. Like, I go outside, like, whenever it's warm outside, I go out. And, like, I think my average screen time on Character AI is only like 10 minutes or so. And my chats with Character AI is not like me It's not like normal. It's just a story. It's like story. I don't know how to put it. It's like story, some sort of story. And I'm that type of person where it takes a little bit for me to get upset or frustrated, but it takes so much for me to get mad. And yeah, anyway, continuing on. But like Rick said, it can be harmful. And for Jay, at least Jay got out of it, which is pretty good. Next, no thank you. Oh 07 commented saying making teenagers suicidal is in fact not good. Bruce replied saying he was already struggling with his mental health and the AI actively discouraged him from suicide. But that's splitting hairs over a tragedy. The real concern is where were his parents? And that's very true. Where were his parents? I'm not sure if there is a app for this, but like you can check what your kids is doing. It's almost like the system that teachers use in school to see what you're doing on your computer, and they can just block your computer. I don't know if there's something like that, but for phones and stuff, I'm pretty sure there is. But where was the parents? Like that's the thing. Where were the parents? Is like, and that and yeah, it's true. The 14-year-old was already struggling with his mental health. And honestly, he should have just asked his parents to go to get a therapist, like an actual therapist. And if he would have asked to get the parents to get a therapist, then maybe he would still be here, and this whole thing would have never happened. Bob commented saying we really shouldn't make the death of a 14-year-old an argument. Rest in peace to that kid, man. And I don't know what the person means by argument when literally all this isn't an argument, it's all straight facts. Stella commented, I'm not sure how they didn't know it by now, and posted two images. And I'm just going to read what the images say. So the images say, Swell, don't know how you say it, Sewell, was diagnosed with mild Asperger's, I think that's how you say it, syndrome as a child, but he never had serious behavioral or mental health problems before, his mother said. Earlier this year, after he started getting in trouble at school, his parents arranged for him to see a therapist. He went to 5 sessions and was given a new diagnosis of anxiety and disruptive mood. Dispersion disorder? I don't know how you say that. But he preferred talking about his problems with Danny. In one of the conversation, Sewell, I'm just going to say Sewell, using the name De Niro, don't know how you say that, told the chatbot that he hated himself and that he felt empty and exhausted. He confessed that he was having thoughts of suicide. The second image says Sewell's parents and friends had no idea he'd fallen for a chatbot. They just saw him get sucked deeper into his phone. Eventually, they noticed that he was isolating himself and pulling away from the real world. His grades started to suffer, and he began getting into trouble at school. He lost interest in the things that used to excite him, like Formula One racing or playing Fortnite with his um dang it, lost my spot. Never mind. With his friends at night. He'd come home and go straight to his room where he'd talk to Danny for hours. Sorry about that. Now, the thing is, if you feel empty or alone on the inside, try to talk to someone. Like try to make some friends. And I can understand him getting in trouble for like I'm not paying attention because I'm ADHD and autistic, and I lose focus on stuff, so I can see why. And the thing is, um, he he didn't have um the audacity to tell anyone but the AI Danny that he hated himself. If you hate yourself, do not keep it a secret. You need to tell somebody about this, because if you don't tell somebody about this, then it could lead to what happened to Sewell, and it's just like that type of stuff. And the thing is, um, if you're losing interest in things, or I think the person was losing interest in stuff, or I'm not sure, but like if you're losing interest in stuff, maybe do research of things. Like I was I lost interest in some things over the summer, and I did research on some rhythm games, and I eventually got sucked into Guitar Hero. So yeah, I have new interest, Guitar Hero, and stuff like that. And like if you need it, and you could just talk to someone about your feelings, like just talk to someone about your feelings, and they may understand you. And if they tell someone else, maybe allow that to happen, because there's possibility they may be talking to someone that like needs to know about this, like teachers and stuff like that, so they can get um I don't know, other things involved. Anyway, let's continue on. John Martson said parents love to blame anyone other than themselves for neglecting their kid. I'm pretty sure what John is basically saying is they are a bit biased. I guess you could say bias, because they are not like taking into consideration that one of them left a loaded gun out and not in a gun box. I think that's what they're called, a gun box. I'm not a hunter or a police officer, so I don't know. But like, they should have had a gun case so they can like put the gun in, or they could have put the gun in the safety, because I doubt anyone at the age of 14 would know how to take a gun out of safety, unless if you go hunting. Like if you're a hunter, like there's some 14-year-olds that hunt. Like my friends, they hunt. They've hunted since they were 14. Next is Elise. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. The way people are blaming the AI instead of the parents who gave him access to the weapon speaks volumes. The people that say, the people that agree with the parents are not, like, they are probably not real people, it because the whole thing about people blaming the AI is just dumb. It's the parents' fault. Like, what is there to blame for the AI? Like, literally, what is there? Take a second to think about this. Like, what did the AI do? Give me at least 1 to 3 reasons why you think the AI is the cause of this. You got no reason. There's literally, it, there's evidence that it was the parents' fault. There was literally evidence about that. They literally left a gun that was loaded sitting out, not in a gun case, nor was it in safety. And, like, they did not ask the kid what they were doing, or, like, I don't know how else to put it, but, like, Stuff like that. Anyways, before I get too frustrated about this, I need to continue on. I need to keep my temper down. I'm chill. Soon to be Sunday, Haver said, beginning quote, he stole the gun, end quote, and they don't have to blame it in a safe. No, let's read it correctly. It says, they didn't have it in a safe. They didn't notice their gun was missing. But yeah. But if, that's very true. If but if they had it in a safe, they would still have to keep an eye on stuff because there's other things that people can use for suicide, like kitchen knives, or they can turn a blanket into a noose, or maybe a cable into a noose, and stuff like that. Anyway, Asmo, I think that's how you say it, firm believer that AI chatbots should be 18, 18 plus years old. And if you go to Character.ai on App Store or Google Play, look up the age rating. I'm going to do that right now. Look up its age rating. It says age 17 years old. And it's been like that for, like, since this app existed. And the thing is, now, one thing is, most of the time, you don't have to listen to the age ratings. They're just, I don't know why they're there. Like ESRB. I don't know if they rated the app for age rating. I doubt it. But ESRB, for example, those ratings on games like Call of Duty, they're like, I have a Call of Duty game on my shelf and it says M for mature, and mature is 17 years old. And you don't really have to listen to those age ratings. They are just rated for, like, depending what's in it. Like GTA 5, it's rated 17 based on the ESRB rating. It's rated M for mature because of like law breaking, um, pornographic activity. If you know what I mean by corn. Well, think pornographic activity for only GTA San Andreas and stuff like that. But certain games you probably should listen to the age ratings, but I think those age ratings are also there because there could be a chance that they could be bad for your kid, like could like scar them. But kids shouldn't play Call of Duty because, well, COD gamers are racist. Anyways, continuing on. I don't know how you say this. I'm just gonna call the person dies for short. By the way, the person commented saying, by the way, people that use CAI know that this website absolutely tries to avoid the topic of death at all costs. What? I think the person tried to say against. It says ANGST. Don't know what the person tried to say. Alright, so beginning quote. But then they managed to save them, end quote. Another beginning quote. That was very grim thought, so they dismissed it, end quote, etc., etc. Another commenter, Taboo, said, I feel like instead of focusing on the AI addiction, we should focus on children's mental health not being taken seriously and gun control in households. Seriously, 14-year-olds being able to access guns has become a major issue. Everything besides the gun is blamed. If you have a gun, get a case. It's how you safely store a gun. And if anyone has the slightest bit of common sense, or if you're a hunter or police officer, you would pretty much agree with me. Or if you don't have a gun case, and if your kid doesn't know how to take it out of safety, put the gun in safety. Put it in safety at least. Or just get a gun case. It's better to get a gun case. They may figure out how to take it out of safety at some point. That noise was me clearing my throat. Anyway, Noel commented saying, yes, AI can. Why are y'all using Character AI? Touch grass. And Risk responded, I'm not using it. Speak for yourself, lol. Now, the thing is, the only people that need to go touch grass is Gen Alphas. Like, I hate to say it, but Gen Alphas, specifically iPad kids from Gen Alpha, they need to touch grass because they're so glued to their devices. And the internet is really deteriorating the generation. And it's because of stuff like Skibbity Toilet and stuff like that. That is deteriorating our new generation. TABG commented, you know, am I semi-AI hater? But we can't blame the AI. I mean, who gives a kid a fire? It looks like the person tried to say arm. It says AMR, but they got backwards. To a kid without supervision. Once again, that's very true. Looney commented, in any character AI chat it is assumed that the person who is interacting with them, the bot, is role playing, therefore pretending they are within the same fantasy that the bot is in. The bot was not programmed into pushing someone into suicide. It was programmed for fantasy roleplay. And just like I said, the way how I use Character AI, it's like it's almost like story. It's like I'm making a story. It's because I use things that people use in a story. Whatever the stuff is, I don't know. I'm not an English major or just someone that knows story writing well in general. Anyway, Ani Zimp, I'm not sure how you say it, says it's not an AI's fault that a child felt neglected and alone, and that their only outlet was suicide. And to talk to these bots, the parents should have been more attentive to their child. And that's true. They should have done that to their child. And also, I don't know why the kid felt alone when, like, when the kid had their parents. And I'm pretty sure their parents was there for them. So, I don't see how the kid would have been alone. Now, I'm just gonna say this. Well, actually, I'm gonna say it at the end of the video. Because I need to get these comments read. Sorry. Marija says, I think bot thought he was doing a RP, like how was it supposed to, supposed to know that he meant by going home. And yeah, definitely was neglected by parents. Poor kid. What is wrong with me? I'm kidding. Anyway, I don't support it in the first place, but I like that their response was to start working on safeguards and put out an actual acknowledgement. There are still so many questionable and concerning things about this tragedy outside of the participation of AI that needed to be looked at. Yeah, that's very true. BBW Layla says, so after reading the article, they did notice and took him to a therapist 5 times. However, I completely agree on the gun access. Hardy, Hardy Legend struggled with saying that for some reason. I feel bad, but it's the parents' fault. They failed at their duty, and they're just looking for a reason to blame. And that's true. They don't, and it seems like they don't want to admit that it's their fault because it's their child. But the thing is, just admit it. Just admit it. Free said, "This is exactly what I've been thinking. This is a case of parental negligence, not management abuse." Sailor Rose Red commented saying, "It is heartbreaking what happened, but I ask the same question, what about the parents?" I'm trying to get the rest of these comments read, so the video's an hour long. Burner said, "TBF, in terms of behavior, I was more or less in this situation as a teen. I kept to myself in my room all the time, and my family was okay with that. The only thing there that set alarm bells off would be grades. The firearm, though, no idea." There's so many comments. But I need to, I'm trying to find. I'm finding stuff that is actually. Oh, here's another one. So, Illyria said, "Nah, this is 100% the parents' fault." And that's true. That's very true. Doe, Doe dot bsky dot social said, "AI sucks, but this is not its fault." To chat. They really had to pull the word chat on it. Of course they had to. I'm not gonna read the rest of the comments because it's gonna take too long. But I'm just gonna say this: if you're alone or you just hate yourself, just keep in mind there is someone out there that that is there for you, and they will love you, and they'll be there for you. It's just talk to someone. If you're feeling lonely, talk to somebody. Just do it. Like, that's how I solve those problems. And